of the young Black electorate, what are they interested in? What are those issues that will get them out to the election, to pull the switch and vote for somebody?
The biggest things that they are thinking about is what all young people are thinking about. One, inflation, the cost of living. But the other two top things, especially for young Black voters, is also gun violence prevention. A lot of them are really, that's a number one issue. That's a top three issue for them. And the other is actually addressing racism. So Biden's speech speaking to that is actually talking to one of the issues that young Black voters in some recent polls have said is a top issue for them. It's just about, are they actually receiving that message? Are they hearing it? Who's the right messenger to convey that message to them? So the economy, crime, like mostly like gun violence, and also addressing issues around racism.
Yeah, and how about one thing that's really interesting to me is thinking about the gender divide. Black women, the number of Black women who have said they would vote for Trump remains very, very low. However, the number of Black men that have said they would vote for Trump seems to be on the rise. Again, referencing those polls I was talking about. What is it? Could you talk to me about the difference between what Black women are interested in versus Black men, or why is there that gender divide, do you think?
Yeah, I think that there's always this is not just with the Black community. The gender divide around, ideologically kind of cuts across races. And we see that also in the Black community as well, where women tend to be more democratically leaning. And so that also like translates it to the Black community as it does with other races. I think the other thing is that some of these economic issues, maybe some of the rhetoric that we're hearing from like Trump and the Republican Party may be appealing to some Black male voters. And then the other thing is that the cynics that we're talking about, the folks who are just really distrustful of institutions, they are trending to be more towards Black men. So especially Black men who may be more working class, fewer college degrees. So they are part of the Black electorate that we often say are closest to the pain and are looking to see, what are these politicians? What are they going to do to actually change change my circumstances? And because of that, I think that they're more likely to be looking at other options outside of like traditionally what we see, which is overwhelming majority of Black voters tending to vote for the Democratic Party. So
Yeah, and what about a recent study that talked about the fact that 1 in 5 Black voters have an appetite for a presidential candidate from a third party? So, they're tired, to use your word, of the Democratic Party. They're not going to vote for the Republican Party, but they see a path forward for a third party. Can you talk to me about what you think that may mean for the future of the Democratic Party?
well, I think one of the things I will say is that Black voters understand their power. Black voters are really the core and base of the Democratic Party. And if 1 in 5, is that the statistic that you said? If 1 in 5 Black voters went and voted for a third party, that would have a huge impact. It would totally shift the way we think about elections and how people try to strategize to win elections. And so that is definitely something that I think folks who are working on the Biden campaign or the Democratic Party should pay close attention to. And I think candidates like Cornel West, to what I was noting earlier, for young Black voters, especially who are concerned around issues of racism and white supremacy and things like that. I mean, candidates like Cornel West may be speaking directly to that segment of the Black electorate. And so at this point in the campaign, we're many months out from November, obviously. I think this is the moment when folks are looking to see what all their options are, what choices might be in front of them, and ultimately what that might mean for how they'll vote come November.